Cougar Sports Saturday.
It's complete. Another touchdown!
Cougar Sports Saturday. A presentation of KSL Sports.
Left wing for three. He got it again!
BYU Sports Talk by Cougar fans for Cougar fans. Here are your hosts, Mitch Harper and Matt Baiamonte. On Utah's legacy home of the Cougars. KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Welcome back in. It's Cougar Sports Saturday on an absolutely loaded Saturday of BYU news. BYU basketball later tonight, 8 p.m. tip. They host the Runnin' Utes of Utah. And this is a meaningful game because a win against Utah continues the winning streak, but more importantly, it gets you a double bye heading into the Big 12 tournament. And see what you want about the Big 12 tournament. I'm of the belief that you do not want to expend too much energy in that thing. You want to be fully healthy and rested for the tournament that matters, March Madness. And so getting a double bye would help in that regard. We'll get back to this big rivalry game. And, of course, we also touched on, if you're new to the show, earlier today we discussed the breaking news that BYU has moved on in a mutual parting of ways with their women's basketball coach, Amber Whiting. All of that content exists on the podcast feed, Cougar Sports Saturday, wherever you get podcasts. Right now, though, spring football is going on. And on a day like today, it feels like 3 hours isn't enough time to break down all this news, but we got to touch on some spring football. Week 2 is wrapped up. This next week, there'll be a scrimmage, and it's hard to believe we're almost halfway through spring football. Earlier this week, I had a chance to catch up with McKay Hillstead, the quarterback who's in a thick of a backup quarterback race with Trayson Bourget. Hillstead had some big plays earlier in the week. He had a 70-ish yard touchdown run. We touched on that and a lot more. Here's my conversation from earlier in the week with BYU quarterback McKay Hillstead.
Week 2 of spring ball. How's it feel to be taking snaps and getting practice reps after a great season last year?
Yeah, it's been super good. Obviously, that was something, just reps is something that I haven't got the most of up to this point. So getting full swing into the offense and just getting more and more reps has been super positive. So I've had a great time so far, learning a lot, and excited for the rest of spring. So, yeah.
How did you develop and for a backup quarterback who doesn't get a lot of reps during the season, how do you improve and what does that kind of look like?
I think just taking every practice like you're the starting quarterback, focusing on the the game plan and what the defense you're going against is running, I think is super important. The whole time while the game's going, I'm hearing the play call in my helmet and I'm running through the play in my head. Just all that little stuff like that. And I think that's a super good process. Being at Utah State, played that first year there, didn't get that full experience of sitting back and learning, which I feel like I got a really good view of this last year, especially with Jake, and that was super positive, and I was very appreciative of that, and I'm excited for everything in the future. So yeah.
What's the quarterback room like right now? There's only 3 of you. Then there's A-Rod, and is it Matt Mitchell who's in there as well? What are the meetings like right now?
Yeah, we got a super good dynamic. I think everyone's talking. We're all giving each other our opinions on plays, which is super valuable, just because it's not only your eyes, but other experienced quarterbacks and smart guys in the room. And that's not even to mention our coaches. Our coaches obviously know ball super well, so it's great to get their input, but it's also great to get the input from the other quarterbacks because we all see it a little bit differently.
How collaborative is it when reviewing plays on maybe having creative ideas or even saying these are the concepts that I like? What's that kind of give and take between you guys, the quarterbacks, and the coaches?
Yeah, I think Coach Mitchell and Coach A-Rod do a great job of asking us questions, and we're always drawing stuff up and just getting a good feel for the plays. And obviously we trust them to make the schemes that are going to work. And obviously based on this last year they did. We had a super great year, so we trust them. But I think there's also we'll weigh in on stuff and say how we like to read certain things, and they're flexible in that way. So that's super nice too.
Joined by McKay Hillstead here on Cougar Sports Saturday. How much of spring ball is experimental, whether it be installing new schemes, new plays, just how much of it is trying things to see what you want to carry over to the fall, and how much of it is truly development and preparation for the season?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like, obviously we want full mastery. We got a lot of new guys coming in, and we want full mastery of the things that we know that we're going to do no matter what. So we install all that base information, and we want to be really good at that stuff. And then I think we're also experimenting on new things. The coaches are always doing off-season work and seeing what plays are going to be best for us. And then we'll implement some of those plays, see if we like them, and, all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Earlier in the week, head coach Kalani Sitake mentioned that spring's a good time for the quarterbacks to maybe try things that they wouldn't necessarily try in the fall. Is that something you guys think about and talk about? Like, hey, let's push the envelope in terms of aggression and opportunities?
It's hard to say, really. I think, I just like to play the play, and whatever happens on the play, I'll do my best. I think, but obviously, at the same time, you do want to put yourself in a position where you're growing and taking further steps. So, yeah, if that makes you a little bit more aggressive, so be it. But regardless, you still want to be making the right play and not, turning the ball over and things like that. So we stay away from that, but, do our best to try new things as well.
You had a big TD run. Walk us through that play and how you kind of broke out to the outside and showed some wheels as well, which was impressive.
Yeah, it's just a RPO read, really, and, the end crashes, so we either give it to the running back or pull it. We're responsible for the end man on the line of scrimmage. He crashed, and then I just took off and ran. I got a really good block from the receiver, and then hit the sideline, and then just ran. I was getting tired. I haven't ran like that in a little while. But, yeah, no, it was super good. It felt good to use my athleticism, and that's something that I've been wanting to incorporate more and more because that's something that's a part of my game. So just want to keep using that and doing my best to do that. On
the note of your athleticism, do you think that's maybe I don't want to say appreciated, but maybe undervalued part of your game?
I don't know exactly. I think, not really. I don't want to be a guy that's like, oh, I'm going to run every play. I just want to use it when it's the best. So I don't think so. I think you just got to use it at the right time. So
a few questions on the past and what happened between the Alamo Bowl win and now in spring ball. That big win against the Alamo Bowl caps off a great season, 11-win season. What were the end of season interviews like with Aaron Roderick, and what was the plan that he laid out for you this season?
Yeah, had the meeting, just went over all of our success as an offense, which, was super good. Obviously, we had a great season, and then just talked about, the plan of, being in competition right now and just developing as a player. And, I'm going to be getting more and more reps, which is something that's super valuable for me, and just continue to develop, have full mastery of the offense, just things like that.
Have they, when I say they, I guess Aaron Roderick and Matt Mitchell and maybe even Kalani, how have they outlined how the battle will be to maybe be the number 2 quarterback behind Jake?
Yeah, I don't really know. I know, me and Trayson, we get the same amount of reps, so I think they're just looking at that body of work and then making a decision, just based upon, objective measures that they have. So that's all I really know. That's all I really think about. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm just worried about maximizing my own personal development and taking an upward trajectory in my own game, and that's kind of been my focus. So, yeah.
What's it like being with Jake? Jake had a breakout year last year. What's the room like with Jake kind of at the helm?
Yeah, Jake's got a lot of experience, knows the offense super well, and that's something I appreciate. I always ask him questions if I need to know things. And obviously, within our quarterback room, there's being a small amount of guys, we're able to collaborate and talk with each other on how we see things, and that's super valuable too from Jake, who played in, the whole season last year and knows a lot of football. So, yeah.
Did Aaron Roderick and Matt Mitchell, did they kind of mention that this would be a year where there are a lot less guys and there might be more opportunity?
I don't know exactly. I haven't asked those questions. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, we'll see.
What do you make of the playmakers on this offense? There's so much returning experience. Some of them not playing, right? Like Chase Roberts not kind of recovering from injury, but they're still Keelan Marion, JoJo Phillips. I'm probably missing 30 or so guys, but what do you make of the skill positions offensively?
Yeah, we got a lot of ballers, a lot of guys that can make plays and a lot of guys that put the ball in their hands, good things are going to happen. And that's something that, I appreciate as a facilitator, as a quarterback, having trust in those guys. And that's all the way from the guys that are running with the ones and all to the threes. We got a lot of playmakers all around. I think we got a lot of depth, which is super valuable. So, yeah.
BYU's obviously got a long history of great quarterback play. In what ways has maybe that network of quarterbacking manifested itself to you, to Jake? Do you guys come around? Or are they available to communicate with? What does that look like?
Yeah, we got quarterbacks, that show up. Like I saw Jaron not too long ago, and say what's up to him. A lot of guys that are super friendly and want the success of other BYU quarterbacks. So that's valuable. I appreciate that support, and yeah, we'll see, ex-alumni. Or just alumni, sorry. all the time. And yeah, free to go chat with them and have a conversation. They got a lot of great input because, BYU quarterbacks know ball super well. So, yeah.
Last few things for you, McKay. You didn't play last year, but from your observing from the sidelines, what'd you make of Big 12 play, how competitive it was, the atmospheres? What'd you think of that?
Yeah, it was super cool. Coming from a Mountain West school, it's obviously a completely different environment. Like Lavelle is packed every Saturday, and that's something that's super cool. We got great fans and, a lot of energy in that stadium. And I think, even when we went to, opposing colleges, always a live game and, great competition. And that's something that I think is cool, I'm interested in bettering myself as a player and playing against good competition, so I think that's cool that we all have the ability to do that.
Last thing for you on the note of bettering yourself as a player, what specific personal goals do you want to accomplish here in spring ball?
Yeah, I think a big thing for me is just, getting more and more reps in the offense. And, obviously with there being less quarterbacks, we get to throw to the receivers a little bit more and just building that chemistry with those guys. I think that's super important. But, yeah, I just think, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, just full mastery of the playbook. It's not saying that I'm not knowledgeable on it right now. I feel super good about it right now, but I think, there's next steps, and you can just keep on learning it more and more. And I think that's something that I'm interested in doing, and just want to better myself in that way.
Okay, thanks for the time. Stay healthy in spring.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thanks a ton.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Thanks a bunch. Appreciate it.
You too. Take care.
Yeah.
Good stuff from McKay Hillstead. Really an interesting battle, that backup quarterback position. Jake played all of last season. He was healthy, but that's not the norm for the BYU quarterback in recent years. So whoever wins that backup job, they got to be ready because you never know when you're going to be called into action. Good stuff from McKay Hillstead. Taking a break on the other side, we're going to switch gears and get back to BYU hoops here on Cougar Sports Saturday.